Normally to get somebody's attention behind the boat, you gotta yell at them, but watch this. Hey, Jeff. I just said like, hey, Jeff. What's up everyone, Shaun Murray here, and this is a big day because it's finally happening. The GS22E is here. That's right. When I gave you guys the teaser and I gave you some quick little glimpses of what that boat looks like, and you maybe paused to see what was in the guts of it, well, today we're going to take you through the entire thing. We're going to give you an in-depth look inside and also give you all the info that you guys have been asking in the questions and comments. So today it's happening, the electric boat. So we've also brought in some of the key people so they can answer the questions, because not only have they had a big part in the creation of this boat, but also personal experience out on it. Business manager Rob Osborne. Time out. Hold on. We got to set you up. You got to have the right glasses.
Perfect. Yep.
Shaun Marrero. He is the president of Ingenity. Shaun.
Thank you, Shaun. I've been waiting for a pair of these.
So you guys have been asking things like charge time, run time, horsepower, torque, more importantly, cost. How do you ask your buddy for gas money? I wanted to slalom ski, but I dislocated my pinky toe about a week and a half ago. It was pointing to the right way too far, but I'm not shoving that into a ski boot for right now. We are going to get on the water, do a little bit of wake surfing, wakeboarding. I want to ask you guys, one of the first things, to power it up, you got to charge it.
So this is a overnight charge time, roughly.
So, and the cost of this, you said it was about 500 bucks for this?
That's correct.
So 500 bucks. About overnight, plugged straight into the boat.
This is something very familiar to most people. I mean, it's basically a dryer plug, but this is something, if you're going to use a boat once a day, is a really perfect solution for you.
So if you guys want to kick things up a notch, this one costs approximately...
This is a $10,000 piece of hardware, and you're going to need to get enough power to power this on your dock. But this uses 240 volt power, which is familiar to anybody has that in their house to run their dryers and their ovens.
And charge time for that?
Roughly 4 to 5 hours.
500 bucks, that's the one time a day kind of thing.
Yeah.
10 grand, you could even get a couple uses out of it in a day.
You can.
Yep, absolutely.
And Shaun, you said you actually had experience with it this weekend. You took your family out.
I know it's got its environmental benefits, but honestly, it's really more convenient. You know, we didn't have to fuss with any gas. We were out there wakeboarding, wake surfing, tubing, and of course just hanging out. And
you guys can monitor this thing from on the other side of the globe.
That's correct.
Yeah, we have, this is a real world example, and one's in Europe. And so we were able to identify basically a clog.
Hold on, don't hold that story 1 second. Let's wait till we get out on the water. But before we get out on the water, let's talk about the safety when you're charging.
This plug has no power going to it until it communicates with the battery. This plug has AC current, DC current, and then these two small pins are how the battery communicates with the charger. And so until the battery connects and says, hey, you know, I'm a charger, I'm a battery, how much battery, you know, how much charge can I give you? There is no power flowing through the handle. So if this handle were to fall in the water, there is no electricity coming through it.
That's cool, that's safe. Without any further ado, let's go wake surfing.
It's
on. It's silent. Are you ready? Okay, go ahead and go. If you can hear that on there, all we're hearing is
Coolant pump.
Cooling pump. Keeps the batteries cool. When you get going, and we get going a little bit faster, you'll start to hear the transmission. That's it. You hear just as much water interacting with the bottom of the hull. Got my buddy Jeff up front.
Jeff in the house.
Of course, Jeff wanted to come check it out. He's got 2 Teslas. Why not? House is on solar. Your house is on solar, so he doesn't pay for fuel or electricity.
I'm a big fan.
So Jeff, you're getting your first experience in the GS22E.
It's amazing.
Okay, so go ahead. Let's head out to the deep spot out there. Let's hear this thing. So you can hear the whine of the transmission a little bit. More importantly, you can hear me right now. So I'm actually, like, I can hear the transmission slightly, but I'm actually hearing the water off the back of the boat almost more than anything right now. That's crazy. Like, Jeff, do you hear how, like, you hear the water off the back of the boat? I've never heard the water, like, back there. That's how different it is. So you're hearing the transmission slightly spinning, but you're more hearing just like the water all around you. That's nuts. All right, I'm about to get in. You can go ahead and turn the boat on.
Okay, it's on.
You can turn it on.
Yeah, no, it's on.
It's on?
Yep. It's been on.
It's on. Hopefully I don't lose my gold shades, but man, I go behind the GS22E. I gotta wear my gold shades.
Here we go.
Here we go! So now we're out here surfing, Jeff's surfing. I can hear a slight hum of the transmission. I hear a lot of noise from the water more than anything. But watch this. Normally to get somebody's attention behind the boat, you gotta yell at it, but watch this. Hey Jeff. I just said like, hey Jeff. Hey Jeff, can you hear me? Yeah. Amazing, huh? Yeah. That's pretty crazy. We talk about charge time, run time. Shaun, you said you went out from like...
I was out on Sunday from 10 till 2, so
10 till
4
2.
hours on the water.
Okay.
We did wakeboarding, tubing, wake surfing, and just kind of swimming and hanging around. So it was a full day for us. You know, my daughter slept almost noon the next day, so that was an indication that we did a job well done.
You used all of her battery.
We used all of her battery, that's for sure.
That's good. Cool. The boat looks nearly identical. If you didn't know, you wouldn't be able to tell it's an electric boat from looking at it. Right?
That's correct.
There's
that was part of the intent.
One small thing that's different.
We do have an extra little step out here, and that was to accommodate the motor and the transmission that basically extend a little farther.
Thanks to our integrated subfloor ballast, which gives you amazing wakes and waves right off the factory floor, ballast underneath that. Normally, if you're going to have your engine, what's in that magic box?
We needed to use as much space as possible for the batteries. So this is actually almost 10,000 individual cells that are put together to make a 124 kilowatt hour battery, which is what it takes to run this boat. You know, some people think of electric as acceleration. Some people think of it, you know, only in terms of runtime. But here we're trying to maximize fun. You know, that was really the intent, and that's what we've achieved. So the boat is designed to be very safe. We basically use the same standards as the automotive companies are doing for high voltage electricity, and so the high voltage components are either in a box underneath your feet, Tim, or in obviously the battery. And then where they transfer in between, we use the really thick gauge orange cables to make sure everything is safe. It's all monitored. There's redundancies where each of the components watch over themselves, but there's also a computer that is monitoring the entire system. And if there's ever any faults, it opens contactors in the batteries and keeps all the high voltage potential in the battery box. This has AC input, and then these two pins right here are DC input. And this has all the communication necessary between the battery and the charger to keep everything safe and to allow for that extra superpower charging or that supercharge ability where we can get the battery back to full in an hour and a half. There is the option to charge this boat in an hour and a half. The battery is designed for that.
The people who are just not worried about the cost of it, and I know there's some folks out there like that, you can actually charge this thing in an hour and a half and get back out on the water. Rob, show us a little bit about the storage, because this is pretty much the GS22.
You've got storage on both sides of the walk-through here. Trash can sits there. So we've got dual lean back capability on the GS22E.
Don't forget to mention that now you got that open footwell.
Underneath me is additional storage. Glove box, so stereo head control in there, additional auxiliary inputs. We've got passenger heat.
Heated seat.
Heated in this boat, which is super awesome. Wireless charging. So up here in the bow, these seats lift out. We've got nice deep storage.
This is really cool about this helm seat. You got this knockout right here so that it's actually easy for you to throw your leg out. That's an intentional design, so as you're changing riders, you throw your leg over this. Header on the windshield is actually nice and high so that you always have a clear, safe view. So you got Link Pan-Array touch display, which can also be controlled from Helm Command. Helm Command is this really cool rotary encoder. Gives you complete control of your Link Pan-Array touch display. And I sound like I'm doing the walkthrough. One of my favorite spots outside of being behind the boat. Speaking of, I want to wakeboard. Let's go. I don't want to lose these wakeboarding. I'm not losing my boards. Have it. That was awesome. Thank you guys for bringing the boat out, and we actually got quite a bit of use out there. Rob, how much juice is left?
42%, Sean.
So we just had 3 wake surf sets, a wakeboard set, and we've got half a tank. Is it a tank? You got half the juice left, and we had a fun morning. Okay, what you guys have been waiting for. This is the story.
Telematics really was designed into the boat from the get-go on electric. And
That means they can talk to the boat remotely.
We sold a boat retail in Europe, and one Friday night we were looking at some of the numbers, and we could tell that the battery was doing its job. It was slowing down the charging once the temperature reaches a certain level. And so when we were looking at that, we figured out that basically there wasn't enough cool water coming in to the system, and it had to be one of just a few things. You know, either the strainer was clogged, or the strainer wasn't tightened all the way and the O-ring was leaking, drawing in air. We knew on a Friday night that a boat in Europe was potentially not going to be fully recharged in the morning. And the most difficult problem to solve was actually getting somebody to the boat in Austria in time to make sure that the guy could use his boat the next day. It's really going to transform the way boats are serviced, not just for the electric boats, but for the gas boats too. And I think that was just kind of a lucky thing for us to stumble upon that the electric boat brought us. So.
They were in the U.S. tinkering on their computers and like, hey, his boat's not charging as much as it should be over in Austria.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
And you guys are going, okay, it's either going to be the strainer, it's not cooling. So the battery will say, okay, I can't stay cool, so I'm not going to charge as fast.
Correct.
And what does that is a cooling pump. You're like, it's either the strainer or the O-ring on that strainer, something is stopping water, and you could tell from the U.S. that his boat in Europe needed something to unobstruct the water strainer. That's crazy.
It's a total game changer. Yeah, it's definitely, and it's nothing to do with the electrical system. It ended up being just, debris inside the strainer.
That's nuts. Like, they're able to monitor a boat and send a technician who was over there and took care of the boat overnight so the guy could have his boat ready to go in the morning. Thank you guys for watching. If you guys have questions and comments for this boat, you guys can put them below, but they'll actually have communication with you if you go to ingenityelectric.com, or you can also go to nautique.com, check out the GS22E there. There's different ways that you can actually reserve these boats. They are for sale. Speaking of for sale, how much are they?
$293,000 base, so it's a really, really great value, and we hope to be selling these things like hotcakes here soon. So.
Right on, and they have sold some in the U.S., over in Europe. It's not the cheapest boat, but this is at the phase. This is the first of its kind, really, that's in mass production, and this is where you're in what they call the early adopter stage. So the people who are getting them now, They're investing into this program that is going to grow and hopefully get more people inside these boats. So if you guys want to go check that out, you can contact them with all sorts of questions or reserve your own and hopefully get your own experience in the GS22E. So while you're here, also consider subscribing. And if you do that, hit the notifications bell right below here, and that'll let you know when those videos are going live, things like this, and other fun stuff. No matter what you're doing, always enjoy your ride. Peace!